In this session, we review how to submit a commission request. From your home page, navigate to the Request menu, Make Request, and Commission a Physical Device. The Commission Request form then displays. From the drop-down list for the site, select the site, and from the drop-down for the room, select the room into which you want the commission to be deployed. The next field is the preferred functional group. Most systems deployed in the data center belong to an IT functional group. Examples of common functional groups are network, compute, storage, admin, etc. The portal maintains a list of the predefined functional groups for your company, which are available from the drop-down. If nothing in the list applies, select all groups. In this case, I'm going to select the compute functional. The next field is the requested install date. This is the date you would like to have the commissioned device in service. It is your request, and the data center operations team will make every effort to meet that date. If they're unable to meet the date, they will have to reset expectations with you. The server owner / custodian field. This is an important field that defaults to you as the requester. However, you can change this field from the drop-down list. It should reflect the IT team member who will be responsible for maintaining the server once it's installed. Should the data center operations team ever need to notify the IT team of issues with this server, the server owner / custodian identified in this field will be the first point of contact. The purchase order number field is next. Do not overlook this field. It is required, and it is one of the most valuable fields on the form for managing assets through their life cycle. If a valid PO number is not applicable, you can simply enter NA into this field. On the other hand, if you do have a valid PO number but don't have it handy, you can enter TBD, meaning to be determined, and come back at a later time and update the field. Preferably, however, you have the valid PO number on hand and you enter it here into this field. Next, you enter the quantity of devices that you want commissioned. This field can be one to many. For example, if you want 10 servers of the same type to be commissioned, you do not need to create 10 separate commission requests. Just enter a 10 in this field and then fill out the rest of the form once for all 10 devices. In this case, I'm going to leave the quantity 1. After entering the quantity, you need to let the operations team know what kind of device you want commissioned. From the company device config field, you can click the drop-down and see a list of known devices to the company. Furthermore, you can filter this list with a manufacturer or any other field to narrow the list. If you don't find the device you're looking for, you can use the Select Custom link here, and it will open up fields for you to list a custom manufacturer, model, memory, cores, and other important information to define your device configuration. In this case, I'll go back to the list. I'll select Filter for Dell devices. I'll select the Dell MD3060, and there I have it. The Power Redundancy field allows you to select the type of redundancy you want for this device. There are 3 options: circuit redundancy, UPS redundancy, or no redundancy at all. If the device you are requesting is not critical, with no expectation of ever becoming critical, you can indicate no redundancy is required. On the other hand, if it is a critical production asset, then UPS redundancy should be requested. Circuit redundancy provides for redundant circuits to the device, but the circuits may or may not be fed by redundant UPSs. In special circumstances, circuit redundancy may be sufficient, but this is a rare case. The warranty expiration date is not required, nor is the lease expiration date. But if you have that data, you can enter it from the drop-down calendars presented. Moving to the upper right corner of the form is the opportunity to enter the cable requirements for your device. There are 4 cable categories that may apply to any given device: production network cables, management network cables, backup network cables, or a catch-all other cable. In the first field, you enter the quantity. For example, if you want 1 production network cable to service the device, you enter a 1. If you want 2, enter a 2. Some devices require many production network cables. Whatever the number, place it in this quantity field. After specifying the quantity, specify the type of cable. Do you want a copper cable, fiber cable, MTP, Twin-X cable? Perhaps you know. Select it. After selecting the production cables, you can go down to select management, backup, or other cable requirements. None of these cable fields are required, but if you know the cable requirements, it's great to enter them. After entering the cable requirements, you can select any rack preferences you may have. For example, let's say you wanted this device to be commissioned somewhere between racks A1 and A10. You would select A1 as the beginning rack, A10 as the ending rack. These rack preferences are not required, but they do give you the opportunity to communicate a preference if you have one. Next, you can actually communicate a rack unit preference if you know where in the rack you want a device. This also is not a required field, nor is the VLAN field required. But if you know what virtual network you want the device on, it's great to put that here. The last piece of information required on a commission request form is an answer to the question, has the device already been installed? 99% of the time, this field should be no. However, in rare situations, a device may be commissioned under urgent circumstances without going through the normal protocol. If, for example, a device has been configured and now you want to go tell the data center team what you've done, you can answer yes to this, at which point additional fields are opened up where you can tell the team what rack you used, what rack unit, what power circuits, what cables, and the other critical device information to complete the device record on the portal. Scrolling down to the bottom of the form is the standard request detail fields. One of the first fields here is the priority level. The priority level can be set at low, medium, high, or urgent. Each one of these priorities has a given response time. Low is a 48-hour response, medium 24-hour response, high 4-hour, and urgent requires a 15-minute response to your request. Please note, the response time is just the time in which the data center team must acknowledge and communicate with you about the request. It is not a promise to actually resolve your request within this period of time. The reference number field is an optional field, and it's used to cross-reference this InCommand request with an internal ticketing request. For example, if there was a ServiceNow ticket that's associated with this, you could enter the number of the ServiceNow ticket to cross-reference the two. The request title is a required field, and it's a short description of this request. In this case, one Dell computer commission by Dave E. After the request title, indicate what your company is if it's not already listed. And finally, the additional information is for you to communicate any important information to the data center team that wasn't already indicated in the pre-programmed fields. There you go. Please address this request with all haste. Thank you. Towards the bottom of this request, you have the opportunity to add additional emails for people to be notified as this request goes through the process. You may also upload files or pictures if they would help the operations team to get it done right first time. After filling out the form, select the Save button to save the request. And one last item, don't forget that at the top of each form is a blue question mark. The blue question mark opens up documented instructions for how to fill out the form and definitions of the terms on the form. This is a long form, so there's lots of documentation for your reference. That completes the introduction to submitting a commission. Enjoy making commissions in the InCommand portal. Thank you and have a great day.